You ever get that feeling that the years are just slipping away? One minute it's January, you blink, and suddenly you're looking for last year's holiday decorations. It's such a weird, universal feeling, and today we're going to unpack the fascinating psychology behind why time feels like it's hitting the fast-forward button.
Just think back to being a kid for a second. Summer vacation felt like this glorious, endless adventure. And waiting for your birthday, it was just pure torture. It took forever to arrive. But now, as adults, entire seasons, heck, entire years can just fly by in a complete blur.
So that brings us to the big mystery, right? What's going on here? Did the laws of physics suddenly change? Did someone secretly wind up the world's clock? Or is the change happening entirely inside our own heads? Let's figure it out.
All right, first up, let's just get into why this feeling is so incredibly common. I promise it's not just you. It's a really well-documented psychological thing. We're going to explore exactly how our brain keeps track of time passing. Okay, so the first major clue to solving this mystery comes down to one simple word: novelty, new experiences, and something we're going to call mental bookmarks. This idea is absolutely central to understanding why a year can feel so incredibly short.
Remember being a kid? Everything was a first. Your first day of school, your first time riding a bike without training wheels, making that new best friend. Your brain was just in constant discovery mode, like a sponge soaking up a ton of new information every single day.
And each one of those firsts, each new, exciting memory, it acts like a distinct mental bookmark. Here's the kicker. When you look back on your life, your brain doesn't consult a watch. It counts the bookmarks. The more of those novel memories it finds, the longer that period of time feels.
Now, let's flip that and look at adult life. For a lot of us, things can get, pretty routine. Same commute, familiar work, same kind of evenings. And when life gets that predictable, your brain doesn't have to work so hard. It just flips on the autopilot switch, and it pretty much stops creating those rich, detailed mental bookmarks. So when you look back, there's just less for your memory to grab onto, which makes the whole year feel way shorter.
But hang on, a lack of newness isn't the only thing going on here. There are other really powerful forces at play. Some are mathematical, some are super modern, and they're all kind of pushing that fast-forward button on how we see time.
This brings us to a super simple but honestly profound mathematical idea called the proportionality theory. Basically, it says our brain doesn't think about time in absolute terms, like minutes or hours. Instead, it feels time in proportion to how long we've already been alive. Think about it like this. When you're 10 years old, one single year is a massive 10% of your entire life. Of course it felt long. But when you're 50, that exact same year is just a tiny 2% sliver of your lived experience. It feels like it goes by faster because, relative to your whole life, it is faster. It's a much smaller piece of a much, much bigger pie.
And on top of all that, modern life just loves to throw gasoline on the fire. Chronic stress forces our brain into survival mode, not savoring mode. We're just trying to get through the day. And our technology, with all the constant scrolling and notifications, it just shatters our attention. And without attention, the days, the weeks, they all just blur into one.
Okay, I know that might all sound a little bit gloomy, but here's where it gets good. Here's the hopeful part. We are not powerless in this. It is totally possible to psychologically hit the brakes and get back our sense of time. So, let's talk about how. This right here, this is the most important thing to remember. We can't add more hours to the day. That's impossible. But we can absolutely change how we experience the hours that we have. The power isn't in time management, it's in experience management.
So how do we actually do this? Well, here are 4 really practical ways. Break your routine, even in tiny ways, like taking a new street on your way to work. Learn something new, a new skill, an instrument, anything that forces your brain to wake up and pay attention. Focus on having deeper, more meaningful conversations. And most importantly, consciously go out and look for novelty. Create more firsts for yourself, just like when you were a kid.
So let's bring all of this home. Because at the end of the day, this isn't really just about making time feel longer. It's about making our lives feel fuller, richer, and way more meaningful. The real secret here, it's not some crazy life hack or a productivity app. It's just being present. It's putting the phone down, noticing the little things, and being fully 100% engaged in the moment you're actually living in right now.
This quote just sums up the problem perfectly, doesn't it? The real enemy here isn't a shorter life. It's a routine that's gotten so big, it's squeezing out all the new, exciting stuff that makes life feel so rich.
And really, this is what it all comes down to. When we look back on our lives, we're not going to be counting the minutes. We're going to be remembering the moments. The big ones, the small ones, the laughter, the discoveries, the connections. The more of those moments you create, the richer and yes, the longer your life is going to feel.
So I want to leave you with this final thought. If you feel like this past year just completely evaporated, try not to see it as some depressing warning sign. Instead, see it as an invitation to live a little more intentionally, to break out of the routine, and to start collecting more of those awesome, precious mental bookmarks.
Hey, if this explainer got you thinking a little differently about time, do us a huge favor and hit that like button. It really helps us out. And I genuinely love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know as time feels like it's speeding up for you. And of course, make sure you subscribe for more explainers that help make sense of the world around us.
Thanks so much for hanging out. Until the next one, go make the moment count.